mumps, measles, whooping cough. Now, these were all diseases thought to be wiped out as of the year 2000, and now have been resurfacing due to this anti-vaccination movement. Now, if you're unaware of what this movement is, it's a bunch of parents getting together, deciding not to vaccinate their kids because it's too dangerous or not worth it. Now, a brief overview of this movement. It is a conspiracy theory, not based on scientific evidence. It's based on fear and assumptions that are incorrect. It is mainly through social media, so it's not very credible. And they're claiming things like vaccinations are a cover-up to some broader government agenda. And they're also claiming that the side effects of vaccines are a lot more harmful than they actually are, claiming they are causing other things like autism in children and things that have no evidence to back them up. Now, the reason I'm giving you this speech today is to educate you on vaccines and tell you how they aren't harmful and they are definitely worth it to stop the spread of potentially deadly diseases like measles, mumps, whooping cough, polio, and a bunch of other diseases that were thought to be wiped out but are not because of this anti-vaccine culture. So basically, these anti-vaxxers are thinking we don't need vaccines anymore because we no longer have diseases. But what they fail to realize is that we don't have these diseases because of continued vaccinations. So the need of this issue, why we need to pay attention, there are two main reasons. One, our increased number of outbreaks of these wiped out diseases, and the miseducation of young America because of these anti-vaxxer conspiracies. So the increase in outbreaks, there have been outbreaks of measles, mumps, whooping cough, and even polio. Now, mumps, before vaccination, about 186,000 cases were reported each year to the CDC. And now in 2012, there were only 229 cases reported because of vaccines coming out and getting better. And then in 2017, 3,886 cases were reported in 45 different states. Now, this is almost 12 times the amount from 2012 to 2017 because of this anti-vaccination movement. And now, if you take a look at this chart, you can see since the year 2000, we've been going pretty steady. There was an outbreak in 2006, some smaller outbreaks, 2009, 2010, and ever since then, it's been slowly increasing the amount of cases of mumps, which is very concerning for a disease that's supposedly wiped out and doesn't exist anymore. Now, the other main reason that we need to pay attention to this issue is because of the miseducation the anti-vaxxers are creating. So, anti-vaxxers, it's mainly concerning for me because it is mainly growing through social media. And social media is mainly young people and the future generations of America and of the world. And so them reading into this conspiracy theory and believing in it so easily is very concerning to me because it is completely falsified, not based on evidence, just based on fear and fear of the unknown, really. So one of the anti-vaxxer claims is that vaccinations are a cover-up for a grander, totally different government agenda, which has no evidence to back it at all. And anti-vaxxers also claim that the side effects are super harmful and severe from vaccines. And the CDC actually states on its website that most side effects are minor, like a sore arm from a shot or a low-grade fever. Now, there are some cases of harmful side effects, but those are very minor, and I think the anti-vaxxers are really just exaggerating that, and they're claiming the side effects are more awful than they actually are, and basically scaring America out of vaccinating their kids. Now, another concerning thing about anti-vaxxers is they have a lot of celebrity influence and people in positions of power who are believing in this conspiracy. One of the biggest advocates is President Trump. He actually said in his presidential campaign how one of his employees' sons, he got vaccinated and also happened to get autism or develop autism. And this is one of the anti-vaxxers' biggest claims because people are really scared of their kids getting autism, and it's an easy wagon to jump on. Like, I'm not going to vaccinate my kids because it may cause autism, but there's actually no evidence whatsoever to back this claim. The biggest problem is there's similar timing in when autism symptoms appear in children and when they're getting vaccinated. So right around when you're a toddler, doctors can start to see the symptoms of autism and like claim it in a child, and that's the same time around when they're getting vaccinated. And so I can see how the anti-vaxxers see this issue. Oh, my kid just got vaccinated, and oh, we just discovered that he's autistic. They can see that correlation, and they identify it wrongly as causation. Just because two things happen around the same time does not mean one caused the other. So that's the biggest problem in this claim is causation does not mean correlation does not mean causation. And there have actually been 9 CDC studies proving there is no relationship between autism and vaccinations. Now, moving on to how to solve this problem. Now, it's pretty easy. All we have to do is encourage people to vaccinate their kids, vaccinate ourselves, and vaccinate our own friends, family, kids, anything we can. It isn't enough to just vaccinate myself, vaccinate my family. We need most, if not all, people to be vaccinated to stop the spread of these potentially deadly diseases. Because vaccines aren't 100%. Even if you are vaccinated, there's about a 1% chance you could still contract the disease you're vaccinated for. So now if we have these anti-vaxxers contracting diseases and carrying them, they're more likely to spread them to those who are vaccinated who have a higher risk of contracting the disease and spreading it. So basically, it isn't just about protecting yourself and your kids, but it's about protecting everyone, protecting the nation, and protecting the world from these deadly diseases. Now, to kind of visualize it for you, the future, if we stopped vaccinating our kids altogether, everybody just stopped vaccinating. Before vaccination, I've got some facts for you. Before we vaccinated, nearly everyone in the United States got measles once in their life, and hundreds of people died every year from it. And now, nobody dies from measles, and barely any people get them because of vaccines. Now, in 1921, 15,000 Americans died from diphtheria, and now there have only been 2 cases from 2004 to 2014. In 1964, a German measles epidemic broke out, infecting 12.5 million Americans and killing 2,000 babies and causing 11,000 miscarriages. And now, since 2012, only 15 cases were reported to the CDC. And now a more concrete example. In Japan, in 1974, 80% of kids got their whooping cough vaccine, and there were only 393 cases that year. And as vaccine rates dropped in 1979, only 10% of kids got the whooping cough vaccine, and 13,000 people got the whooping cough, and 41 people died from it. And then as vaccines resumed, the numbers dropped again. So really, the statistics don't lie. If you have more people getting vaccinated, you will have less cases of that disease and an increased chance of wiping that disease out altogether. So all we have to do to avoid national, even global tragedies from these deadly diseases is get vaccinated, get our kids vaccinated, and encourage others to get vaccinated. So what I'm asking you to do is take action. Educate those you know about this issue. Encourage them to do their own research and know the facts of vaccinations, not the assumptions from social media and conspiracy theories. Discourage the spread of falsified, non-evidence-based anti-vaccination conspiracies. And vaccinate yourself and your children. Now, I'm going to vaccinate my kids. I'm going to stop the spread of potentially deadly diseases. I'm going to protect the health of the future generations. Now, the only question is, are you?